So a relationship is a function if every input has just one output. So that doesn't really make much sense if you just hearing words there, but like if you take a look at this equation here, this is a relationship between x and y. We say this relationship is not a function because look, if you input the number x equals 1, then the output could have two different then there could be two different outputs. Y could be 1 or y could be -1, right? Because you can square -1 and it makes +1. You can square +1 that makes +1. So this is not a function. But if you flip it around, this is a function because if you plug in x equals 1, there can only be one y value. If you plug in x equals 2, there can only be one y value. Okay, so if x is our input, then the order matters. You know, whichever variable is being squared matters. So this one down here would be a function. This is not. So when we look at it graphically, we can quickly tell whether it's a function by using the vertical line test. If you draw a vertical line through every point, and it touches only one point, like this graph does, then it is a function. Because x equals -5 has y equals 1 as an output. Let's see. Rest to say the domain contains infinitely many points. Okay, so we're supposed to pick the domain. The domain are all the possible x values. There aren't an infinite amount of points. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 points here, so we want this option. And the domain is x equals -5 is an option. X equals -3 is an option. X equals -2 is an option. X equals -1 is an option. X equals 4 is an option, and x equals 5 is an option. Let's see. The range contains infinitely many points. Oh, range. Okay, so that was domain. Domain is all the x values. So you might start thinking range is y values, and if you do, you're right. Okay, the range does not have an infinite amount of points because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can count them up. And the range are all the possible y values, and we typically list them from least to greatest. So the smallest y value, smallest place we have on the y-axis, we go down to -5, put a comma. -4 is a possibility for y. +1 is the next possibility. +2 is the next possibility. And then +3. We don't need to put 2 3's here because range is just all the possible y values, not how many y values we have of each type.